Human beings, like all animals, are deeply rooted within nature. Then why do we take for granted all that we have? We only have one planet, and once it's gone, it's gone. Once upon a time, the Housatonic River was a staple of our community, stretching 149 miles from western Massachusetts to western Connecticut and even into Long Island Sound. However, enjoyable and common river activities such as fishing and boating and swimming have been labeled with signs and warnings. People living near the river get wary, concerned for the carcinogens in the water they live by. And with biomagnification and the long spread damage already done, this problem just isn't going to fix itself. In order to try and make up for the damage we have done, our community needs help from our community.
My name is Fiona and I'm in 10th grade.
I'm Brian Shepherdson and I'm a special education teacher in the middle school.
I'm Everett Shepherdson, I'm grade 8.
Because we knew there were PCBs in the water and we were told to stay away and we were scared.
We've also been involved in education projects around the Housatonic River. We have a curriculum for the 5th grade students, and so many students in Lenox and Pittsfield and all throughout Berkshire County have participated in this. Our focus has been that at that sort of 5th grade to middle school level, helping students to understand, how does a watershed work? How does a river move? Like all of the basics of that kind of system, as well as the ecology. And we can ground it in the specifics of the Housatonic River because of the pollutants in our river ecosystem here. And in a broader way, we're providing that education about watersheds generally.
We've been dealing with this on all other sites across the nation too, and this isn't the first like PCB site. So it's one of those things where we've just learned post-industrial revolution of all the chemicals that cause danger, and so we're even still learning. Recently, even EPA released like more contamination levels for PFAS. I don't know if you saw that, but like we're still learning and evolving, and so. Ashlyn Brooks. I am the Community Involvement Coordinator for the GE Housatonic site. So our team is made up of RPMs, which are project managers, public information press officers, and then lawyers. So I'm a part of like the public affairs team on the site. So I deal with the 6 municipalities that the Housatonic River runs through. So that's Pittsfield, Lenox, Lee, Stockbridge, Great Barrington, and Sheffield. And so my job is to essentially keep all of those communities informed on what we're doing at the site, and address any of the concerns that they might have. So if they were left untouched, the risks now would remain the same and or greater in the future. So that was such a good question. I think it's absolutely necessary. So, you need community involvement to tell the story of the site and to have informed decisions and conversations with the public. So engagement also increases visibility and understanding of transparency when it comes to issues that are brought up on the site. And folks should have a say in what's happening in their lives, in their towns, and in their cities. So we do a lot of extensive outreach, or I myself do a lot of extensive outreach for the site. And we make sure that we have input periods where folks can provide their feedback and their comments, and we can incorporate that within the work that we're doing.
I do recall that many of the men that worked at GE were offered to be sent home with soil. Unfortunately, it was loaded with PCBs. They weren't aware. They used it for their gardens. There's a place called Little Italy in Pittsfield, and a lot of the Italians like to grow their own gardens. And they used that soil. And unfortunately, the cancer rate became very high in that area. So they were affected by the PCBs in the soil, unbeknownst to them. So there was a huge study, and there was a very high incidence of cancer in that particular area because of that. And a girlfriend of mine who lived off of Mill Street, and she had a home there, GE did come in, and they did dig up her whole yard, and they did replace it with fresh soil and fence, and of course, you know, that's pretty much it. It is a flood zone, so you do often wonder if you're still getting remnants of that PCBs. Who knows? As a child, I remember biking by and literally steam coming up off of the lake, which was pollution, and I remember the smell. It was a very strong, almost butterscotch smell, but it was a chemical smell. And in the winter, it was the same. It did not freeze over. It still stayed water, steam, and the smell was there. It never froze over.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is your favorite river-based activity?
I've kayaked a couple times and fished, but not recently, but that's what I do enjoy.
Would you feel comfortable kayaking or fishing right now?
I would, just because of growing up with the Housatonic and the concerns that I often wonder if they have really cleaned up all the PCBs, I would not fish in that river, and I probably wouldn't kayak in that river.
Would you feel comfortable just like living by the river?
I wouldn't, no, I would not. Silver Lake is beautiful now, but I wouldn't sit near it. There's still that stigma, there's still that knowing. Again, I'm not sure how they clean that up, to be honest with you, but in my mind, I wouldn't fish there either, and I wouldn't recommend my kids hanging out there. It's something that GE left, unfortunately, a sad legacy for Pittsfield.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Well, just an interesting fact that my mom, again, growing up with Silver Lake never freezing over, when they finally, years later, they did clean it up to a point where it does freeze over. And my mom is a speed skater, and her and a gentleman, actually, I gave you a picture of them skating on Silver Lake. It was about 3 years ago. So that is a good thing, that's positive. They weren't afraid to skate on it. So I suppose winter, somebody could. Personally, I wouldn't. But so that's a positive thing. The smell is gone. I think there have definitely been improvements, but it will never be the way it used to be before GE.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I have spent a lot of time in the river, fishing, canoeing. I have a house right near the Housatonic, and I actually, when I was a kid, my father would bring us hunting for frog legs, or we would eat them. Now they do. It's just the question of what should we do about it? Like, should we just let them stay where they are or move them out?
What is your favorite river-based activity?
I would say probably I just enjoy the natural beauty of the river, particularly like on the Roaring Brook Road part of it, from the boat launch down to Woods Pond. It's just so pretty in there. I've hunted, fished, and canoed there many times, and you always see wildlife. It's just a beautiful area.
Would you hunt, fish, or canoe in it right now?
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't eat the food anymore, but I would definitely still canoe and fish there.
How much do you know about the GE company and the role in polluting our river?
I honestly don't know a lot. I mean, I know that the Housatonic has been polluted for a while now, and that it's definitely something that needs to be addressed more in the community.
What do you think the best thing we can do as individuals is?
I think probably help raise money for organizations that organize river cleanups, or be part of organizations that can help with cleaning up the river.
How do you think this is going to affect our future generations?
I I think the water from the Housatonic will not be usable eventually because of just how polluted it is, and I don't think people will be able to be near it. You know, like when I was little, we used to I feel like always go on river walks in the Housatonic and like streams that came off of it. So I feel like that probably things like that, activities won't be possible.
What is your favorite river-based activity?
I mean, fishing, I guess.
Would you be comfortable living near the Housatonic right now?
I don't think so. I don't think I'd want to drink the water even if it was purified.
What do you think the best thing we could personally do is?
Clean up the river.